Well, it's officially December. Hanukkah starts next week. Christmas, a little more than 20 days away, and 2021 is approaching. The end of 2020 has never been so close and yet so far. You know, it's no secret the U.S. media leans left. Not just leans left, the U.S. media are so left they practically fall over on their sides. A 2017 Harvard study concluded the media delivered 80% negative stories about Trump in his first 100 days in office. Comparatively, 100 days into Obama's first term, the media was far more favorable, with only a 41% negative, 59% positive comparison when it came to the Democrat president. The media has always had a contentious relationship with the current president, President Trump. He called them out all the time at rallies.
We are in a rigged system, and a big part of the rigging are these dishonest people in the media. Big part. In
the briefing room.
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say. Go ahead. I think it's a very nasty question, and I think it's a very bad signal that you're putting out to the American people.
But you know what? That was part of the game. They asked tough questions. Trump shot back with snarky answers, but at least he did. He called on unfriendly media sources all the time. Who can forget those ridiculous questions CNN's Jim Acosta would lob at the president?
That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
But that's what the U.S. media is there for, asking tough questions, holding truth to power. It was so important the founders added the media to our constitutionally protected rights. We're entitled to freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and a free press. A press corps free to ask the tough questions, ensuring that the American people get to know who our elected officials really are, ensuring we don't end up with a dictator or someone who's self-dealing rather than leading the country. Now, I can't emphasize enough how concerned I am about the press corps and their new love affair with President and VP-elect Biden and Harris. I know it's just a few weeks in, but these same people were really tough on President-elect Donald Trump 4 years ago. Now, they become somewhat soft, weak, mushy in their questioning of the incoming president.
You just spoke of some of the dangers of the president's continued stonewalling of this transition, but it doesn't appear that the president is going to come around anytime soon and admit defeat. So what are you going to do? What options do you have to try and ensure that you are ready to go on day one?
Not very hard-hitting. Or how about this one?
If the FDA gives emergency authorization to the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine in the coming weeks, will you get vaccinated?
Really, media? Those are your tough, constitutionally protected questions. I mean, what would we do without the hard-hitting coverage of Joe Biden's kitten? You folks are giving the U.S. softball team a run for their money. I mean, where the questions about Biden's proposed, then retracted, then reproposed national mask mandate, where were those? Or why didn't anyone ask Biden or Harris to condemn Antifa? Or how about someone asking Biden to explain how his tax plan won't increase taxes on anyone making $400,000 per year? Because we all know that's going to be impossible. I'd like to get them on tape now, before they do stuff later and claim they never said this or that. But that's the whole point of the media. Ask the tough questions, the questions that make the politicians uncomfortable, make them squirm a little bit, and get the answers on tape, and then use those comments when they lie. Because guess what, folks? They all lie. It's just good to have it on tape to remind them. Obama famously said, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor under the reform proposals that we put forward. If you like your private health insurance plan, you can keep it.
Well, that wasn't so true after all. We now know that. Guess what? It happens on the other side, too.
Read my lips. No new taxes.
Well, that was a lie, too. You see, folks, politicians lie all the time. It's the media's job to remind them what they promised. So I'm asking that gritty, tough crew of Acosta at CNN, tough guy, get it, John Carl at ABC, good, Maggie Haberman at the New York Times, John Swan at Axios, and others. You folks were tough on Trump. You did your jobs. Now it's time to be just as tough with Biden and Harris. I know Biden and Harris just got elected, and it's the honeymoon phase, but we're in the middle of a pandemic. Millions of Americans have died. Millions of Americans have lost their jobs. Hundreds of thousands of Americans have died. And we have a couple of politicians who've proven to lie on more than a few occasions. So guess what, media? I think it's safe to say the honeymoon is officially over. For once, please prove me wrong. Ask the tough questions we want answered. Not left or right, just straight down the middle fastballs. Because your softball questions for these two are honestly getting a little embarrassing.